All right, here we go. We have the mighty return of the African king of comedy who is dressed apart today.
Come on, man. I had to take up them dirty dashikis, man.
We'll talk about all that. Welcome back to VladTV, Michael Blackson.
What's going on?
We have a lot to talk about today, but the Super Bowl just passed.
Yes.
And you were there.
I was there.
You were there. What'd you think overall?
It was a great weekend. I wasn't a big fan of that particular game. I was just at that game 4 years ago. Same as that game in Miami. Chiefs against 49ers. I got free tickets to that. That's why I went.
Nice.
I didn't go to this particular game. I actually watched the game with 50 Cent. 50 Cent had a viewing party, and I just watched the game with him. But the weekend was great. Probably one of my favorites. Miami was cool. Phoenix was nice. Vegas, you can't go wrong with Vegas. Besides, Vegas also is a place where, you can't stay there too long. You start to lose money. You can't get no sleep. I was there for freaking 5 days, man. That's a lot. I've never been in Vegas more than 2 to 3 nights. I was there for five nights. But we had a great time.
Yeah, we're supposed to do the interview yesterday, but you were still in Vegas.
I was still in Vegas. I totally forgot that I had that's what Vegas does to you, make you forget what you have to do. Yeah.
Well, you said that Patrick Mahomes is bringing light-skinned guys back to life.
Brought him back.
You used a different word, of course, but I had to censor it.
Patrick brought the light-skinned niggas back, man. It's like, back in the 90s, I'll be sure it had things popping. Dark-skinned people was hiding for a while, then all of a sudden, New Jack City come out, Wesley Snipes brought us out, and then Big Daddy came and was out turning up, and then Flavor Flav came in to set us back.
You gotta blame it on Flav, huh?
You know what I mean? Then Merle's Chestnuts came out, and then boom, we came back to life. We was back on top of the world for a very long time, and Patrick Mahomes.
He messed it up for everybody.
Fucking 2 Super Bowls in a row. Went to the game, 4 out of 5 times. 4 out of 5 years he was in the Super Bowl. Kid's incredible. He's amazing. He's getting so good, I'm starting to hate him. I'm hating like I hated Brady at one point.
You said he's the greatest NFL player in history.
Well, I would just kid it.
Okay.
Only because he won me some money. That's why.
Okay. Oh, you bet.
I put my money on him. And the reason why, in the NFL, not the NFL, Vegas, whoever's in charge of gambling tricked us last year. They tricked us. Now, it was the Eagles against the Chiefs. The Eagles having a great season. We're great. But in the meantime, the Chiefs have been unbeatable. They lost, of course, they lost to Tom Brady. But the Chiefs was just great during the season. Amazing. And the Eagles were favorite. So it made everybody go picking the Eagles. And then boom, Vegas wins when the Chiefs won. This year, they tried to do the same shit to us. San Francisco's favorite. I'm like, listen, man. Till somebody kick Mahomes' ass, I'm not picking San Francisco. So as much as I hated Mahomes, because, he beat my boys last year, and he just so good that I hate him. And I'm a hater. He's so good I hate him, I said, I'm going to pick him. So you proved me wrong. I'm going to pick this guy. And I picked him. But first couple of quarters, it didn't look promising at all.
Oh, yeah. I thought they were going to lose. I'm from the Bay. I'm from the Bay. I was rooting for San Francisco. I was like, come on, we finally got it. And in overtime, I'm like, oh, okay, we got it. We scored the field goal. It's over. It's
not over. It wasn't over. Even from the beginning of the game, when the San Francisco was about to score and they fumbled, I'm like, okay, just stop them. And then Chiefs got the ball, did nothing. And then San Francisco was just showing they were just the better team. They were the better team on Sunday.
Well, you also got to blame it on the kicker. Because if he didn't miss that extra point, it wouldn't have gone into overtime. They would have won.
Yeah.
It's the kicker.
But the biggest thing of that particular game is San Francisco didn't know the new rule. We didn't know the new rules.
The overtime rules?
We didn't know. I didn't know that. We always knew that whoever scored a touchdown first wins the game.
Right.
Must have been the first year they put
both sides get the ball. Yeah.
Right. Both sides get a chance to score a touchdown, or unless if it's a defensive score.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Did you know that?
No, not until it happened.
And San Francisco didn't know that. There was no way they knew that. Because if they knew that, they would have kicked the ball instead of receiving the ball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, man.
Very big
It was
point.
heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. But Patrick Mahomes is becoming the next big thing.
He's
he
great.
already is the next big thing, but I'm saying he could become the biggest thing. He could become bigger. He still has 10 years left. He might become bigger than Brady.
Definitely.
He has a chance to do it. Not to say he will, but he has a chance to do it.
He has a chance.
Based on his age.
The difference between him, he has great arms. Also he has legs. Brady didn't have legs.
True.
This guy could pick up 10 yards on his own without throwing the ball.
He's like a Michael Vick kind of.
Yeah, so he's dangerous, man. And he had no real receivers. He made those guys great,
Well, there's Kelsey, with
Kelsey,
Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift was giving him that energy.
It's always great to have your woman there. It hypes you up. But, they've been great before Taylor. Let's be honest. Taylor didn't know nothing about football.
No.
Till she started dating this guy. She knew, because you watch her early in the season, she'll be cheering at the wrong time. She's like, yeah. I'm like, Taylor, it's halftime. Sit down. Okay. You have no clue what's going on, do you? Yeah, she was just there, just cheer her man on. I'm so happy for her, because you could tell for the first time she's in love. And yeah.
Well, you said that your village in Africa is waiting for those 49ers.
Bring them
championship t-shirts.
Bring them on, man. Bring them. And the funny thing about it, if I'm trying to think if I've ever seen any of those t-shirts before in any village, because that's what happened. A lot of people don't know. People don't know that they sit home and wonder how they made those t-shirts so fast. No.
They make both.
They make both t-shirts, and the losers t-shirts go to a third world country, whether it's freaking Cambodia, whether it's Cambodia or Taiwan or Thailand or somewhere in freaking the village of Liberia or Ghana or Nigeria or Ethiopia. There's some kids in the village. Make sure it goes so far away that nobody's going to see these t-shirts,
Out of sight, out of mind.
And that's for every sport almost. Every sport that has, or Game 7. If it's like a one-game sport, yes, but if every Game 7 is those two t-shirts, and somebody got to wear the real ones. Somebody got to wear the fake ones. So yeah, San Francisco, thanks for the t-shirts. My village very happy. Excited about your new t-shirts.
Well, then there's the halftime show.
Mm-hmm.
I would put this up there with one of the greatest halftime shows ever.
Well, it was entertaining, and I think the reason why they went with Usher was, come on, Usher shut down Vegas during his residency.
Yeah,
that's all the internet was talking about, and also Jesse Collins, who does all Usher's tours. I think is hired by Jay-Z's company that books most of those Super Bowls. And the crazy thing about it, when Usher was in Ghana, Jesse was the one that, Jesse he's a great tour manager. In fact, Usher didn't make it in my house, but Jesse came to my house in Ghana, while Usher was doing the concert, and we got to talk a little bit about, Super Bowls and BT Awards. He does a lot of BT Awards, and so Jesse's, I think Usher is probably one of his biggest clients, and the guy's so entertaining. God, I didn't realize he was 45 years old.
Yeah, he looks 25.
Looks 25. I actually went to see him while he was in concert, and he shows so much love to entertainers that come to his concert. I had no idea. I'm there, enjoying my song. Next thing you know, Michael Blackson's here. I'm on the camera, on the big screen where, I had no clue. My lady was like, hey, Mike, you on the screen. I was waiting to see if he was come and serenade my lady, but he probably don't eat fried rice, so that's probably why. He didn't bother much. Plus, he did that stuff to mostly women that have light-skinned boyfriends. Dark-skinned men, we ain't going for that. You're not coming over this dance and grind on my woman in front of me or around me. If you know a dark-skinned man has a woman, you're not touching no dark-skinned man. It's a complexion thing, man. It's a black thing. You'll never understand, Vlad. You're very white.
Well, what did you think about the whole Alicia Keys situation? because the memes went crazy.
It did.
It's like your wife at work with her work husband. You know, when you see them all cuddled up. And
it's
entertainment.
Like it's like Janet Jackson pulling her titties out at the award. It's just entertainment. Give them something to talk about. At the end of the day, Alicia Keys is an entertainer. Usher is an entertainer. You know, and they will entertain it. It just, you know, just people use their imagination, which are fun. I don't think there's no more to it than that. You know.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just that Usher has an interesting history of this kind of thing. You know, after the whole Kiki thing, which ultimately ended in divorce.
It did.
It did.
Were they married?
Well, okay, I'm sorry. Not divorce, but
a breakup. Right.
And child custody and restraining orders and everything else like that.
I mean, I don't know.
Domestic violence.
Okay, that's
you know, it ended badly. And, you know, you don't know if that's the cause of it, but to the outside looking in, that seemed like the starting line right there. You know, that whole situation.
Yeah, it's a shame.
He was a light-skinned guy, so I guess it was
another light-skinned nigga.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's an NFL Africa commercial. That was pretty cool.
Very cool, man. Very interesting. In fact, I was in Ghana when they were shooting it. I didn't get a chance to go on set. One of the producers of the commercial was at my house because he produced another movie. I forgot the name of it, but I wanted him to produce one of my movies that I want to shoot in Ghana. So he told me about the commercial. I knew all about it. In fact, there's a guy that I actually posted it. I posted a commercial, not the commercial. I posted this video on my page yesterday with Jeremiah Owusu. I hope I'm not pronouncing his name wrong. He's a Ghana kid, born in the States, of course, but parents are Ghanaian. Very proud to be a Ghanaian guy. He went and met up with the chiefs of the village he's from, or his parents are from, and talking to them about, you know, how he's trying to bring training camp and how the NFL is going to get involved with having a training camp in Ghana with football. So we're excited about, like, you know, just the thing about, I think our African kids are very athletic, very talented, and you just got to get it out of them, you know. So they plan on trying to, you know, teach them football, American football.
Right, because they generally play soccer out there.
Mostly soccer, but it's really football. I mean, you guys...
You call it football out there, yeah.
Yeah, y'all stole it from us.
Yes.
Football should be football, man.
Right, because
y'all should call football soccer.
Right.
I mean, the only time American use foot in football is when you're doing a kick. Yeah,
right.
So why is it called
handball? Catch ball?
Run ball, tight outfit ball. You know, grown man chasing an octagon. It's not even shaped like a ball. What's the shape of a football? Is that
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Get any name but football.
What shape is that? I mean, it's not really. It's kind of an oval, kind of.
It's like a oval, or if you have like hernia or something in your balls. That's what it looks like.
It's a hernia ball.
Yeah, hernia testicles.
Well, while you're out in Vegas, you watched Ice Spice perform.
Yeah, for the first time.
Yes, you were. Well, you were not impressed.
No. I was just shocked. It was a combination of, like, you know, I mean, I've seen on the internet, I've seen her winning awards, crazy awards. So I was curious to what, you know, what's all these awards about. So I sat right there in the front at the Michael Rubin Fanatic party to see what is hype of ice, frozen spice. So is it frozen or ice?
I think it's just ice.
Ice, okay. Ice Spice.
You called her a frozen spice girl.
Well, I thought it was frozen as ice.
Yes.
It was some kind of a refrigerator.
Right.
But yeah, man, I was just, you know what? That's the era we're in, man. Just about being different and being yourself, you know. It's sex sells, and that's what she's doing. I mean, if we took out the music out of her performance, it would be called walking. She's walking, shake her ass, you know, it was cute. I have twin boys that are 17, and they love her. And then so I sent them a video. I said, look, it's your girl, Ice Spice. And then he sent me a picture of her with no makeup on. I was like, you don't ruin my whole damn life.
I know what you're talking about, that makeup picture.
She was entertaining. And then look, at Super Bowl, she's hanging out with Taylor Swift. I'm like, okay, shit.
Yeah, and she hanging out with Shaq. Shaq was trying to holler at her.
And who, Ice Spice?
Yeah.
Oh, Shaq, come on, you got an autographed jersey that's older than her. Cut it out.
Well, you said you got dashikis older than Ice Spice.
Yeah, I definitely have dashiki older than her. I've been telling jokes for 29 years. She's not 29.
Okay, so let's talk about a big thing that happened since our last interview. Katt Williams went on Club Shay Shay, and you got brought up. he said, most comedians don't get booed enough. This is how you wind up with a Michael Blackson, who's a real African doing a fake African accent. He said that he gave you the best advice of your life and said that you used to wear dirty dashikis and you should dress to be in the position that you're trying to be in. And he also said that if you're trying to be the king of African comedy, you should open a school in Africa. Said that you took his advice, changed your whole persona, and then hated him for it.
Let me tell you about Katt. Katt lies so well, right? That he almost made me believe what he said about me was true. That's how good of a liar this guy is. You know, we are like in a moment of like, you know, everybody telling how to feel. You know, people are getting older. The older you get, the less fuck you give. You know, at the same time, you know, you start to speak your mind and, you know, whoever has ever pissed you off, you know, this is time to fuck everybody back and just, you know, there's nothing wrong with speaking your mind. There's nothing wrong with, I mean, I was just a tip of the iceberg. I mean, he went big on everybody.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I just believe that, you know, we're in America. It's okay to speak your mind. Say whatever you believe. But you don't have to tear each other down. You don't have to tear people down doing that. And you don't have to lie. I mean, there's so much, you know, don't get it wrong. I mean, the thing about it, there was a lot of truth in what he said about different things that's going on in Hollywood and people. But it was a lot more lies.
Okay, so tell me some of the truths that he said that you're like, okay, yeah, that's true.
I mean, Steve Harvey had a wig. That's probably true.
Was that an actual wig?
Yeah,
it wasn't like a hair transplant or nothing?
Nah, that was like a black loofah he had on his head.
A black loof.
Steve Harvey barber used to bring the hair to the shop. Hey, let's go. This is the hair you're going to wear today.
Just put it on his head like a crown.
This here you go. Go ahead. You ready?
No, because I remember his like lineup was like, it was like down to a molecular level. It was so straight that you know what I'm saying? You could use it. You could use it for scientific experiments.
Yeah.
I've never seen a lineup that was like perfect. Remember that lineup when he had it?
Yeah, he had some perfect hairline, man. I had no clue. I mean, honestly, I don't know if it was real or not. Well,
he went totally bald afterwards, so
yeah,
that kind of tells you.
You can't go from this to like
nothing
to alopecia all overnight. That makes no sense.
You can't go from Jackson 5 to Jada Pinkett. Just you know,
you
overnight.
can't go from the Big Daddy Kane to motherfucking
to nothing.
Onyx. You know, Katt. Poor Katt, man. You know, I think everybody he talked about was he had personal issues with them. I mean, I knew why. You know, prior to this whole thing with where I accidentally called this guy a crackhead, and it didn't even come from a bad place. It didn't come from nowhere bad. I'm not sure you saw the interview. Mm-hmm. Did you see the interview? Where I'm trying to remember exactly what I said. It came up very wrong, you know, because I was talking about how comedians are. I was talking about the most lovable comedian on earth. I said, I think the most lovable comedian on earth is Katt Williams. I don't give a damn how much crack y'all think he smoked. I'm not sure that's how I said it or that's how it came out, but that definitely wasn't how it was meant, you know. It wasn't meant that I call him a crackhead. I never seen this guy do crack. You know, I'm sure you're doing something. It can't be crack. I mean,
well, according to him, he claims he's never done a hard drug in his life.
I mean, he can't say that. There are receipts. You know, there are receipts. There are receipts. There are videos of him. You look at these videos, I'm like, there's no way.
He's actually doing drugs?
No, there's no video of him doing drugs.
Like he's doing drugs.
Yeah, no, there's receipts of him acting like he did something.
Okay.
And weed don't make you do those things.
Right, getting choked out by the 14-year-old, fighting the guy on stage at the Beanie Siegel concert.
No, I mean that, just his on stage performing. It was a few years where he just went on this rampage and getting booed everywhere. You know,
you said he's gotten booed in two concerts that you actually saw.
That was there. It was the thing about it. You know, I remember it was about between 2010 and 12. A promoter reached out to me from his hometown. You know, I mean, he's from Dayton. Cincinnati's like 30 minutes away. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he's trying to book Katt. He said, Mike, hey, try to get me Katt. I'll have you, you know, and I'll book you on the show as well. It was, you know, like I said, 10, 12 years ago. I was probably making at that time $5,000 a show. You know, he said, hey, Mike, get me Katt, and you open up for him, I'll give you $7,500. You know, I was like, okay, cool. And then I reached out to I forgot the lady's name that used to be with him all the time. And then book Katt, $100,000 a show.
He was getting that much back then. Wow.
Yeah, he's getting. Katt went from like no money to like 50,000 to 100,000. He just grew really fast.
Nice.
You know, because he was. I mean, let's go back to the movies we did. You know, Next Friday was my big break.
Yeah, and his as well.
His Friday after next. He was in the next.
Oh,
Friday
okay. Yeah, sorry, you're right. Yeah.
Next Friday was my big break. You know, I pop up on the screen as this African kid, and the thing about the funny thing about Next Friday for me was when I came on Next Friday, people have already seen me in Comic View. They already knew. You know, I did like Comic View from like 94 all the way to like I did almost every year. Well, I skip a few years, and then I did it from like 98, 99, 2000. I was on Comic View every year. And then 2000, boom, the movie Next Friday comes out. I'm like, oh, that's the African guy from Next Friday. You know, I come out of the movie, I'm this crazy funny African character that the whole world fell in love with. So now I gotta make money as this guy. You know, Katt came out as Money Mike, pimp looking guy, and that character stuck with him. He had to be that person. And he still is.
Yeah, he was that character on the Boondocks.
Everything was a
Pimp call Slickback. He did the voice, and they basically made him look the same way.
So we are all typecast, if you want to call it like that. So
that's fine.
There's no, you can't go talking about me being an I'm always been an African. I just became a citizen of America a year and a half ago.
Right.
I've been an African my whole life.
Right. And are you faking your accent right now, by the way?
This is how I talk. The thing about
he claims you have a fake African accent.
The thing about it, Katt has never been to Africa. How would you know what African is supposed to speak like? You know, Africa is a continent with millions of people, different dialects, different accents. Who knows what's a real one and what's a fake one? Everybody talking a different way. But like from Liberia talk different, from Nigerians, Ghanaians have a different accent, Ethiopians, we all are different. Everybody's different in their own way. Now you get an African kid that come to America, move from Philadelphia, spend a few years in Jersey, move from Philadelphia, lived in LA, travel the world. Yeah, my accent gonna be all over the place.
Right.
You know, but the main important thing is I'm African, period. Right. So, hey, Katt never been to Africa. And I know that because he don't get on the airplanes. As far as I know, he gets on a bus almost everywhere he goes.
Oh, he doesn't fly?
He doesn't fly.
Huh.
He's never seen the Atlantic Ocean, so you don't know shit about Africa. So,
I'd never heard this before.
Yeah, he don't fly. Got him two shows, got him $100,000 each show. I put money in this nigga's pocket. Now he talking about, I put $200,000 in your pocket, Katt. You've never put money in my pocket. You've never booked me or nothing. You know, I make sure to get in touch with you, make sure you got your money. And he was excited about getting that money because it was that point in his career where he was going through something he was going through. And we still love him as a brother. I'm not sure what it was he was going through, but Katt was going on the road, getting booed, want to fight the audience. His 1 hour show was 15 minutes long. I was there in Cincinnati. I opened up for him. He went on stage, had nothing to talk about. They booed him. They want to fight him after the show. You know, but he is still our brother. We still love him. We didn't show what he was going through. The following show was for 2 weeks later in Birmingham, Alabama. You know, but by the time we got to Birmingham, for some reason, he straightened out. It wasn't as bad. He actually performed, I don't remember him getting booed as much, or it wasn't that bad. And then he slowly creeped back and got back. And the next thing I started noticing was maybe 5-6 years ago when Spike Lee directed his special. So I'm like, okay, thank God, Katt is back. I love this guy. When that interview came out, like I said, it was just from things when me call him saying, I think he's a crackhead. Of course, he got beat up by a kid and he's hanging out in the wrong places, that's why I felt like y'all called him a crackhead. I feel like the public said he was on crack. That's why I was, but at the end of the day, it's just joking. We comedians, it's all love. But he took it personal. And as he should, he probably had every right to. But I said, okay, I'm always thinking about how can I, when I found out that he heard that I call him a crackhead, I try to figure out how we could make this better. But he was more like throwing jabs on social media. I'll make a post, he'll comment on the post, coon, this and that, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, he's still mad. And then we happen to end up wilding out.
Yeah.
We talked about that last time,
Yeah, we
right?
talked about last time, right?
Right, and I guess when I left, I'm wilding out. I'm still trying to keep the show fun. He's more like career jabs, and I let him slide. Like, I took a L on wilding out. I mean, I think I was funny. I don't think he was funny on that show because he was more like doing career jabs. But I didn't go deep and hard on him because I still felt guilty for what I said about him. Even though it didn't come from a main place. You know what I'm saying? I love the guy to death. You know what I mean? Because comedy is so hard as it is, man. It's probably one of the hardest things to do. And to survive in this for the amount of years that we all have been surviving it. I'm talking about like the Katt Williams and the Steve Harvey, the Earthquake, Cedric Entertainer, the Ricky Smiley, even guys that we don't talk much about like Corey Holcomb and like D. Ray Davis. Guys are still relevant till today. Still doing this thing that we've been doing for over 25 years. And still keeping relevant, still making money, like millions. We cannot complain. We can't complain. So, I mean, we have no reason to like get to a point where we tear each other down. I mean, it's okay to speak your mind, but, saying, what else he said about me?
Well, that was pretty much the whole thing.
No. He said fake accent, and then he told me to build a school. Who randomly tells their friends, go build a school? That's like me telling a fat person, here, go build a gym. You know what I mean?
When he said that, I was like, I don't think that he asked him to build a school.
Of course
that sounds a little far-fetched.
Me and Katt has never had a conversation. We never sat and talked. The only time I remember even getting close to communicating with this guy was when I booked him on that show in Cincinnati. And I remember when he came to town and I flew in, and I remember they said he was at this hotel, and I went to the hotel just to say hi to him. Thanks for coming and showing up. That way I don't look bad, and probably spoke for like 2-3 minutes. He has a little entourage, bunch of crackhead looking motherfuckers. I'm just playing, man. He had his entourage, and I just said hi, and then I left, and then I saw him at the show. We never had a conversation. When did we ever talk about me taking my dirty dashikis?
No, he never asked you to take the dirty dashiki off.
I took up my own dirty dashiki, and the reason why I took up my clean dashiki, the shit ain't even dirty. You got me calling my own shit dirty, Katt. The reason I took up the dashiki, I'm not sure if I ever talked about this in an interview. The main reason I started wearing dashiki, when I started comedy, I was more on the cleaner side, and I wore the dashiki, and I talk, my jokes were clean. As I got older, as I became a headliner, for some reason I became more raunchier. I think when people come out to see a show, they want to see what they could watch on television. They want to hear shit they cannot hear on TV. So I decided to go big. To go hard. When I decided to go hard, I'm like, no, I can't be hard in my garb. I'm disrespecting my people. Let me take this garb off, and now I'm dressed like Ric Flair, motherfucker. Okay? I'm gonna dress like a pimp or whatever I want to dress myself. If I'm gonna be cussing like that, talking crazy, let me look the part. That's why I took up the dashiki, not because a dehydrated leprechaun told me to take it off. Okay? Then he told me to build a school. Come on. Okay, you don't go nowhere close to a school. Last time you went close to a school, a 14-year-old choked you, Katt. Okay, all right. And then he talked about he adopted 10 kids. Why didn't he get those kids to beat up that kid and beat you up?
That's true, huh?
Where were your 10 kids, Katt, when that little kid was choking you?
Well, you responded to him at the Funny Bone on stage.
Yes.
And that video started to make its rounds.
It did.
You called him a fake pimp with a real perm.
Well, you called me a real African with a fake accent. I said, you're a fake pimp with a real perm. Well, I keep mine's jokes, man. At the end of the day, we have to make people laugh. And there was certain things that he said that made people laugh. He's very intelligent. He insulted me in a very intelligent way. He said, comedians don't get booed enough. That's how he ended up with a Michael Blackson. You're mad at me because I don't get booed? I mean, because we witnessed him get booed. Millions of thousands of people saw him get booed. I've never been booed, not in the prime of my career. Maybe, I don't remember being booed at all. Maybe at one time in my career, I probably got a little booed because I was performing at a college, and I think some of the people had kids in the audience, and I was cussing, and that was the only reason why. But when Michael Blackson go on stage, Michael Blackson give his audience all he's got, and I am relevant, and my material are funny, original, and different. And I have no reason for anybody to ever boo me. And if you attempt to, I would light you up and then the crowd would laugh. I'm prepared. I'm a veteran, upon a veteran. I'm probably one of the greatest, funniest guy on stage today. And till you come and see a live show from Michael Blackson, you can't talk shit. Those on the internet say the Katt, everybody's great, whatever. Go see your live show. You know, go see a live show. Count how many times you laugh at my show compared to any other comedian you would see ever.
Well, I mean, you actually said, I think on Twitter, that Katt Williams is definitely top 10 comedians of all time and top 5 alive as well. But you have to agree that he's not the Katt of 2005.
Of course, yeah.
And you actually named the top 10 black comedians alive.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Katt Williams at number 4,
Mm-hmm.
Martin Lawrence, Kevin Hart, Mike Epps, Cedric, Earthquake, and guess who's number 10? You.
Well, you have to. You know, I've been doing this for so long, and I know I'm great, you know, and I represent a whole continent.
Right.
You know, and they look at me as like one of their greatest, you know. I mean, of course, can't forget Trevor Noah from South Africa.
Well, I mean, there's D.L. Hughley.
I said, I'm talking about, what D.L. Hughley? What? The reason I put myself in that, because I was talking about like coming from a whole different continent. Just coming from somewhere different and just coming to America and making it is a great accomplishment as it is.
I mean, Martin Lawrence...
Well,
Martin Lawrence in his prime, 100%.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Martin Lawrence is not Martin Lawrence anymore, unfortunately.
100%. No.
You know what I mean? Martin Lawrence, I wouldn't want to see Martin Lawrence stand up at all right now. I don't want to see him in a movie right now. I think he had a stroke or something like that. His timing is much slower. Well, so if you say alive, would I...
Well, Eddie Murphy...
It's hard. Eddie Murphy doesn't perform either anymore. So I see where you're going. So you have to just go with their prime who are still alive.
I'm going by GOATs, correct.
Exactly.
That's still alive.
Exactly.
D.R. is great, of course. And that's a lot of other great guys I didn't even mention. Like Corey,
TK Kirkland.
TK is great too.
TK is great.
You know, Corey Holcomb is great. D-Ray Davis give you a good show.
Yep.
I can't squeeze 30 people into a top 10.
Squeeze 30 people. You know, I feel you. Well, you also said some other things on stage about him. You're saying that his lying ass says that he reads 3,000 books a year. The only thing he got read 3,000 times is Miranda rights. He has more mugshots than Bobby Brown. Yeah,
now actually was hanging out with Bobby Brown at the Super Bowl. I saw him at Super Bowl, and I was gonna ask him, how many mugshots you have? Because we Googled up Katt Williams, and he had a few of them. Did you Google up how many mugshots Katt has? He's got a lot, yeah. Exactly. He do have more than Bobby Brown. I was right.
He's got quite a few. You also talked about how he claimed he could run a 4.3.
Yes.
What did you say?
I said only two people could run a 4.3, an athlete and a crackhead. That was all jokes,
right.
Man.
When you say pass the rock, you're not talking about the basketball.
But like I said, man, I make mine's jokes. And Katt appreciate that, because when he mentioned me, I'm like, okay, now I gotta go right. You know, and that's a great thing about a comic. We learn to take our pain into material. You know, somebody says something about me, okay, great. I'm gonna go make some jokes about it. I have to defend myself, but I defend myself in a jokey way.
Right. You also, because he mentioned in the interview that Earthquake can't read. And you said, well, you claim you read 3,000 books. Read to him then.
But you know what? With reading, you know, I don't think Katt meant Earthquake cannot really read. There are different types of read when it comes to entertainment. They're reading, you know, you got those who just can't read. I mean, there are rumor that two powerful people, they're rumor they cannot read. I'm not mentioning their name because I'm friends with them. They got more money than me. If they can't read, but they could show account. You know, they can't read, period. Yeah, as far as
you know people that can't read, period.
No. We heard rumors that these two particular people.
Right. Well, there's a rumor with Floyd Mayweather.
That he cannot read. Okay. Who's the other person? Who's the other person you heard but can't read? But I think there's a lot. I think I'm sure Floyd could read. You know, he got to read somehow, some way. The guy's intelligent and he's smart and he's great at what he does. And then we're going, you know, he said when he said Earthquake couldn't read, I didn't think he meant cannot, you know, physically read. It probably can read a script. The thing about acting is different. When there's a certain way, when you read a script, you have to know how to read a script. So if you cannot read a script, it's hard to act. You know, so a lot of comedians, every comedian is not great at acting. I'm even shocked that I didn't think I was great at acting or, you know, or reading the script, you know, till I was given an opportunity. But at the same time, you know, the opportunity I was given, it was something that kind of like was easy for me. I get to be my own character, you know, so it was easy to read. And that's what Earthquake said in the interview. If you're gonna give me something that fits me, and it will be easy for me to read it. You know, sometimes when you give an actor or comedian the wrong script, it's gonna be hard for him to read the wrong script. Not that he can physically read, it just doesn't fit him as a character.
I mean, you said that when it comes to Katt Williams dissing Kevin Hart, that's midget on midget crime. You're going to leave it alone.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone, man. Two midgets fighting at it, you know. Even Kevin was also mentioned, I think, in Monique's interview.
Yeah, well, he was mentioning both.
Yeah, he mentioned both.
Right, because Katt called him an industry plant.
Right.
Is there such a thing? I've never heard of this.
You know what?
Is there really such a thing?
It could have been in the early 2000s and 90s. In the era we're in right now, I think you control your own destiny. You know, nobody give a fuck about TV anymore. People barely go to the movies. You know, it's all streaming. These streaming networks are looking for content. You go create something great and Netflix will buy it, Amazon will buy it, and a bunch of other ones that are trying to compete with those guys will buy it. So in the era we're in right now, I would say no. Maybe 2000 and from the 90s to 2000, maybe, you know, because we need to get on television. It was, you know, it was only a few. You had like, especially for black people, we had the UPN and WB. If you're lucky enough to get on ABC or NBC with just one show, one black shows on each of those networks, then the rest are on UPN. You know, it was hard to get in, and it was, you know, you have to know the right producer. He gotta love you. You have to, it's things, you know. I mean, so he's probably referring to the past. The only problem I had, you know, and I love Monique, and, you know, and she's been great. In fact, Monique, I met her on the set of Def Comedy Jam back in 1995. My first time. It was both of our first time doing Def Jam. It was in fact what Def Jam did back in the day. They filmed 5 comedians, only 4 makes the show. You know, for whatever reason, either that 4th person was probably the weakest one, or he did something that they just couldn't edit. You know, when I did the show, it was me. It was hosted by Joe Torre. It was Monique, myself, Donna Rollins. I forgot the other person was, right? It was a great show. I was probably the best on the show, but my closing bit was too hard, and it couldn't be edited, and my Def Jam never aired. You know, and I think that kind of set me back, because those who had great shows on Def Jam automatically became superstars. You know, Chris Tucker and Bernie Mac. You know, those guys had great Def Jam, and then look what happened to them. Mm-hmm. You know, but I never questioned anything that happens in the past. You know, because you never know what God has for you, you know. Because I said to myself, you know, okay, maybe I would have did, my Def Jam would have aired, I would have had a TV show, I would have did all that. Man, what would I be today? Would I be right here doing this interview today? Would I still be relevant today? Would I still be making crazy money? Who knows? Because I could name 5 guys that were popping in the 90s and 2000 that now make 10% of what I make. You know, I'm not gonna mention no names, you know, and then. So yeah, and Monique, you know, Monique was a very hardworking woman, very hardworking. In fact, when we did the show, she loved my performance so much. She actually had just started a comedy club in Baltimore, and she booked me as a headliner. And she booked me as a headliner, not even knowing even if I had 45 minutes of performance. I was a new comic, and I remember, you know. I remember coming to Baltimore probably 2-3 weeks later after we did Def Jam, you know, and I did like 15 minutes and I ran out of shit. Fortunately for me, I brought a comedian from Philly with me that was one of the popping one in Philly to host the show for me, and then he had to go on after me and finish up my minutes, you know, and that's why, you know, sometimes you gotta be careful in accepting things when you're not ready. You know, we go up on Def Jam and do 5-10 minutes, but then they see you're great now. Hey, I need you to come and do this headlining thing where you're supposed to do 45 minutes to an hour, and I couldn't. She paid me and took care of me, you know, and we actually did a show after that called Snaps on HBO, which was like, I mean, look at the show here, like Tracy Morgan was a no. Nobody knew Tracy that well. Nobody knew Monique. Nobody, you know, Ricky Smiley. We all knew. Nobody knew us. You know, and that was like 95 as well.
Well, you tweeted something about how Kevin Hart's manager was somehow involved in Monique's career.
I was trying to, you know, just talking about my relationship with Monique before, how much I know of Monique.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then besides that, and then Monique just been a hardworking woman. She moved to LA and she worked hard, got herself a TV show and just kept going, you know. Superstar she became, you know, and I guess she went through some things, you know, Oscar winner, won the Oscars. I mean, how many comedians have won an Oscar? Her and freaking Jamie Foxx? I think there's only 2 comedians that ever won an Oscar.
Comedians who won Oscars. Her and Jamie Foxx, I think you're right.
Might be that.
Well, no.
Eddie was nominated, but he didn't win, right?
Wait. Mr. Doubtfire, Robin Williams.
He did.
Robin Williams is definitely an Oscar winner. Multiple Oscar winner, I believe.
Okay.
And he's definitely a stand-up comedian.
Right. But, you know, let me say black comedians then. How about that? I think there's got to be the only 2.
The list goes down.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. So we're going to fast forward to Monique, you know, won Oscars. And I don't know the details of the issues she's had with these big timers, you know.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Who she did? For what?
Whoopi Goldberg won an Oscar for The Color Purple. Oh, no, wait, nominated. Oh, wait, nominated.
Exactly.
Nominated. Yeah. No, you're right.
Even
you're
Eddie
right.
was nominated for what's it called? The Girls movie?
Dreamgirls.
Dreamgirls, yeah.
Man, I think you might be right. No, Whoopi Goldberg won for Ghost.
She did, supporting actress.
Yes, supporting actress for Ghost.
Oh, she was great.
She's definitely a stand-up comedian.
She was great in Ghost.
That's how she got her start.
Damn, Whoopi was great.
Whoopi.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this thing has happened, you know, and then she had issues with these big timers, you know, big producers. And I think she said she went on Kev podcast. Kev out of the podcast and they talked, and then, you know, Kev tried to help her get through what she was going through. You know, he offered to make phone calls to Tyler, you know, but she said, he said, I know Tyler, I'll call Tyler. According to her interview, she said, Kev said he know Tyler, but he didn't know much about Oprah Winfrey, you know, and he said he called Tyler, but Tyler didn't want to, you know what I mean, he didn't want to be bothered, whatever the situation was, you know. And then she also mentioned Kev, when she was down, Kev wrote her a check, you know. So, you know, that was one, I didn't like Kev being mentioned when it came to gatekeeper in that situation.
So she called him a gatekeeper.
The thing about it, you know, and don't get it wrong, you know, she did thank him for everything she did, but when I first saw the interview, I didn't watch the whole interview. I saw the clips on, just a clip of her talking about Kev. And I said, you know what, let me read the comments. And that's what I went and read the comments, and the comments was all destroying Kev. You know, Kev did. I'm like, then I said, you know what, let me go watch it. Then I watched it, and I'm like, okay, what did Kev do wrong? You know, Kev got you on the podcast just to, like, you know, because Kev is so big and so lovable in the industry that, you know, if he brings somebody on, you know, it'll help people have different thoughts about that person. You know, Kev brought you on his platform, attempted to, you know, made a call to people you have issues with. You know, if things didn't work out, it didn't work out. He tried. You know, you become a gatekeeper. Was the gate too tall for his short ass? You know, he couldn't get over the gate. You know what I mean? He tried, but the gate was too high. He couldn't get you through there. And you say he ghosted you. You know, but listen, we are in Hollywood. Sometimes we should be able to catch the hint. Yeah, somebody should, you know, if I hit up Shaq, if I run into Shaq and I'm like, hey Shaq, you know, I need to do this. He said, okay, Mike, I got you. And he don't call me. I'm not getting upset. It's Hollywood, he's busy. Think people have things to do sometimes. If somebody can't do something, they won't call you and say, hey, I can't do it, man. I think we are old enough mature enough to understand, you know, because he goes to you, or because he didn't call you back, he probably tried, there's not much he could do. And you being a mature person, you should catch it, like, you know what, maybe he tried, he couldn't get it done. And because of that, I'm not gonna put him down. I'm not gonna say he's this, he tried. You know what I'm saying? And you know, me and Kev have had our ups and downs. You know, we've had our beefs here and there.
Right.
You know, but wrong is wrong, right is right. You know, and I just felt like whether he's ghost or not ghost, I mean, he tried to help you. If he didn't reach out, and it shouldn't be a big deal.
Well, I mean, Monique, I'm 99% sure she mentioned me on Club Shay Shay But she's like, oh, this white man who has people on his platform talking about people. And I refuse to say his name. People say, oh, this is Gary Owen. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure that's me. Because do you know about my history with Monique?
No.
All right. I had Monique and her husband on my show. I did an interview with them. Interviews cost thousands of dollars in terms of all the resources with a company my size. They came in, just like you. I gave them the release form, and her husband's like, he just said, I want to review it first, but it's not going to be a problem. Don't worry about it. We got you. And I'm like, okay, I don't usually do this, but all right, fine. We do a whole interview. I thought it was the greatest interview she's ever done. We go into her whole backstory about, the abuse from her whole family. We talked about the whole Netflix situation. We even talked about her husband's gay rumors with him standing right there.
Oh, wow.
Right, because, they have an open relationship, and I'm like, so are you allowed to sleep with men and women? I just kind of like jokingly brought that up, and he jokingly addressed it, and I thought it was a great interview, a great life story piece, everything else like this. Weeks pass. I'm waiting for them to get back to me because they haven't signed the release form yet. Their lawyer, on behalf of her husband, gets back to me with him CC'd and said, we're not going to sign your release form. Here's a new release form where we own the footage and we'll let you use it for a year.
Oh, wow.
And when I said, I'm not going to sign this was not the agreement. Imagine doing a movie and right before and after you're done, you say, okay, you know something? I need to own this movie.
Is that why you made me sign the release before I started?
I make everyone sign releases before.
Why you didn't do that with them?
I decided to make an exception because her husband seemed sincere.
Okay.
And I said, well, I seen you on The Breakfast Club. I seen you on Sway in the Morning. I seen you on this show. Do you own their footage? No answer. And I checked with all those people. She doesn't own any of their footage. They own their own footage. But with me, they basically tried to extort me. So we couldn't put it out.
Wow.
So I did some interviews and I called him a bitch and stuff like that and everything else like that. And at one point I said, you know something? Fuck it, it's business. You know what I'm saying? So I emailed him and I said, you know something? I apologize for calling you a bitch. Let's try to work something out. Let's maybe work out some sort of payment or something like that where it's worthwhile for everyone involved. And he said, and he gave me a long list of demands of what I had to do for him to accept my apology.
Damn.
So fuck that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you and that apology. And I'm going to keep talking about this situation until I earn the money back that I spent on that interview.
How much you spent on it? A lot of money?
It cost thousands of dollars to film an interview. Between the camera person, the studios, and all the time that's spent in preparation. I have a team of 20 people. There's multiple people. There's a researcher working on it. And then there's my time, something I can never get back. Yeah. So with all these victim roles of everyone doing her so dirty, this is the dirtiest crew of her and her husband are the dirtiest that I've ever encountered out of everyone. No one has ever said, I'm going to own your footage. And I'll let you use it, but then I'll own it afterwards. You never paid for the filming of it. There was no talk about it. Maybe if we had a conversation, we could have co-owned it. Mm-hmm. But you try to pull that extortion shit after the fact. So fuck that interview. It's never coming out. I don't give a shit. And I'll make more money than I ever made on the interview talking about both of y'all.
Oh my God. But in Monique's defense on family, and I know she's having issues with
with her son.
She has one kid.
What's
so
that?
She only has one kid?
Well, I think she has twins with her husband. But I think before, this is not with her current husband, this is a previous relationship. And I guess she said during that time, when he was younger, she was still on the road and trying to pursue her career, so she wasn't there a lot, and that probably caused a rift of some sort. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, one of the things that she said on Club Shay Shay is that you don't talk about a person's family and stuff like that. So I'm not going to talk about her son and her relationship and stuff like that. That's really none of my concern. I'm talking about her husband. I'm talking about her husband because I had an actual bad experience with her husband. And I have the email exchanges and I have the actual lawyer stuff to actually prove it if they want to try to do anything weird. But I'm not talking about her son or her kids. I have nothing to do with it. I think it's dirty when people do talk about people's kids and stuff and family members.
And people you don't know what's going on in family. When you become successful as an entertainer, people have no clue what happens with family. They have no understanding that, sometimes family turn against you. People want things that you can't give them. They want what you have. People have no idea what happens in family. So you can't go judging the family, what family thinks about a person that makes it,
Well, one of the things that Katt brought up, which is interesting because I already started having that conversation with some of my guests, was the whole thing about stealing jokes. Because I remember maybe a month before that interview, I had Carlos Mencia on my show. You know Carlos?
Yeah, I know Carlos.
Carlos, I think, is the only comedian that actually got legitimately canceled over accusations of stealing jokes when Joe Rogan, did that whole thing on stage. And Carlos even said, at the time he was doing big venues and, after that, now he's doing small venues in, small clubs in middle America. Do you think, number one, with the Carlos Mencia thing, do you think that the stealing jokes thing is justified, or do you think that's just people being petty?
No, I think that's the worst thing that could happen as a, comic, somebody stealing his jokes. When current event comes out and everybody's touching the current event, you can't get mad at that. But if there are joke thieves out there, and the thing about it is it's like somebody taking your woman. We take that to the heart. We take stealing jokes to the heart. So I can't get mad at, Katt feeling that way, but address it immediately, man. Get on top. You don't wait till 25 years later, when Cedric is living his life and have a TV show, and now you're going to bring this up, so turn his own fans against him. You should have brought that up. You should, hey man, this is my joke, and let's figure this out. I don't think it's a better way to go about it than tear him down, because it had people Googling up everything and trying to match it up. Well, he was right. Matching all these different material with material. But trust me, stealing jokes is definitely the hardest thing that could happen to a comic. We take it to the heart. It would piss a person off, especially somebody steal almost of your idea. You can't, what it takes to come out with great material. It takes a lot. For they just not think about it at all, you just take my joke. Yeah, you need to be chastised for that.
Have you ever had any of your jokes stolen?
Recently I saw something online on something old thing that I did, but I don't want to bring it up. I'm going to address that comic myself.
Okay. Is it someone known or someone?
Someone probably kind of known.
Kind of known.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, when I brought it up with, let's say, TK Kirkland, he said it's petty.
He said, what's petty?
Just the whole stealing jokes concept. He said, this is what he said. He said, number one, if you want to be technical about it, Katt Williams stole his line, "Who raised you?" Katt Williams did one of his big specials, and he was like, "Who raised you?" And everyone knows that's TK's line. But what he also said in the same breath was, there's a big difference between stealing a joke and stealing a routine and a whole comedy set. A joke could go for a minute or two and you go on to the next joke. You could hit people with 20 jokes in a row. And if one of them is the same, who cares? Now, if you're doing a whole routine, the whole storyline and so forth, okay, that's a problem. But a joke, he said, man, it's people being petty, and he doesn't. And if you're a good comedian, who cares about that joke?
I think it's petty. And because, again, people don't, the reason why the confusion in Hollywood is the way it is, because people don't really know this business. And so I'm here to explain. There's a difference between stealing a joke and stealing someone's set.
Yeah.
See, your set is your whole show.
Right.
An hour, 45 minutes, hour, 30 minets. That's your whole set.
Yeah.
A joke is less than maybe 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
So what I explain to people, if you had $1,000 and someone stole 100, would you throw away the other $900?
Yeah.
It's petty.
Well, if it's a joke, but still approach the guy about it. And you guys figure it out. Hey man, where you get this idea from? Because mine goes like this, and I came up with this date. Is it okay? You just don't say it. If that joke means a lot, I don't think a joke could change a person's career. The one joke that you talked about Cedric taking is one joke. I understand what you're saying. One joke shouldn't change nobody's life. Because as comedians, we're brilliant enough to come up with millions of ideas. But I still don't want to, I don't want anybody stealing my closing bit. You know, that's how you shut down your show, your closer. If I see somebody doing my closer, I'm like, hey, you know, you're doing too much.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not a comedian. I'm not a stand-up comedian. But I know that if someone does an interview and they ask the same questions that I ask, who cares? I don't give a shit. Because I watch other people's interviews and I'll pick out certain things out of their interviews and incorporate it into my interviews, but I'll do it differently. I'll have a different type of conversation. If someone does it to me, who cares? I don't care. I feel like I have so much material that I put out that if someone copies something here and there, who cares?
Yeah, but like I said, if it's a current event, you almost cannot.
Yeah, everyone's talking about the Super Bowl now. Someone's going to say you stole my Super Bowl joke.
Everybody has a joke on Jeff Epstein. Everybody got a joke on Donald Trump. Everybody got a joke on every, you know, those are current event. It's almost hard to like, you know, determine whether it's stolen or not, you know. But yeah, but like, you know, it's a difference between a current event and a real material. And it's comics out there. There are comics that come out there, go out there and watch shows. Or they would send their writers, big time comics, send writers to comedy clubs to come and watch younger guys, or, you know, and steal their material. And it happens all the time, you know. And it need to be checked. And I'm, you know, get it wrong. As much as I didn't like him waiting 25 years to talk about it, I mean, it was great that it came up because now comedians are going to be careful on taking somebody else's material because you could be put on blast in 25 years.
Well, another thing that Katt claimed was, you know, the whole thing about black actors wearing dresses, and how he claimed he turned down $50 million 4 times because he would not wear a dress. You talking about the whole Martin Lawrence Big Mamas 2 where he stormed out of there.
He ain't turn anybody offer, you know, $50 million out of 4 times. Katt, stop lying. Somebody, everybody want to suck his dick. Nobody want to suck your leprechaun dick.
Harvey Weinstein offered to give him head in front of everyone. I've never heard no gay shit about Harvey. I'm not saying... Listen, Harvey is a convicted rapist. I get that, but he was raping women, not men.
I'm sure Harvey didn't want to suck no leprechaun's dick. It don't even sound right. Man. It's a leprechaun. Anybody want to suck your dick, Katt?
Probably pick someone else's dick to suck if he was really sucking a dick. I'm just saying. There's lots of other dicks out there.
Oh, man.
I mean, okay, but the whole wearing a dress thing, right? Number one, would you ever wear a dress on camera?
I mean, they made it seem so bad and scary. I don't even want to put it out there.
I hope scary.
You know, I don't know how to describe it, but here's my thing with the dressing thing. Okay, we're gonna go back to history.
Yes.
Go back to the 50s and the 40s or whatever. Then we're gonna go to the islands. Let's even go to Africa. Go to go to Jamaica. When men did comedy back then, before we were brilliant enough to come up with great material, it was all about looking funny. Right. If a man like me, if I put a dress on, some high heels and go on stage, you're gonna laugh at me.
I'm definitely gonna laugh at you. It was a cheap
way of laughter.
Yeah, I will not be laughing with you. I'll be laughing at you.
Exactly.
And that's okay.
Right. So the thing about it, it goes back to history. It has nothing to do with them it doesn't mean anything.
Right. Shakespeare was all done by women wearing dresses.
Okay. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. So Shakespeare, at that time, women were not allowed to be actors. So Romeo and Juliet, when it was actually performed in front of a live audience, was done with all male casts. So there's a man playing Juliet.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's just history. That's not an opinion. That's just historically what was happening during the time.
Yeah, so the dressing thing honestly never bothered me. I've never been in those Hollywood rooms where I've never had the opportunity to go hang out with was it Weinsteins? I never got the opportunity. I've been a street comic, underground, doing my thing. I just recently got a TV show. After doing comedy 29 years, Type Perry Studios finally gave me a show where I play a teacher. In fact, it's 4 episodes on BT Plus right now. Go watch it. Go watch it and make comments so we could go and shoot more shows. But I've never been in those rooms. So I don't know, nobody ever offered to suck my balls or lick my, or me fucking some fat woman to get a role. Or, Weinstein want to tickle my nipples or nothing. I've never had
Dave Chappelle said he would do it though. So if Harvey called him up and offered him like Lord of the Rings, you know what I mean? He was like, well, maybe.
I've never had the opportunity, But the dress thing, like I said, it goes back. It would just, to me, it just, now, if they're putting a dress on you and making you look like a beautiful woman, then that's a little weird to me. You know what I mean? But if the dress is on you and, you
got a beard. Yeah.
With a beard.
It's for comedy's sake.
It's comedy.
Well, yeah.
There are other things that they make you do the other thing to make you do to signify that whole Illuminati shit. You know, there are plenty of different things that were done. Other ways where they make it meant, you know, men that, you know, doing things with other men. The dress don't bother me. If they got you kissing another man, then of course, all right, hold up, what the fuck is going on here?
Well, Aries Spears kissed another man
Aries.
in that music video.
Yeah, but that's you know what?
It was a skit.
It's a disgusting skit.
I wouldn't do that skit. Aries, you my man. I fuck with
That
you.
was nasty.
I would not have done that.
Oh, do you have
I would not have done that.
What the fuck was that for, Aries? I have no. What the hell was you doing?
He said, when I say my man, I really mean my man.
That was disgusting.
That
That was nasty. I'm not kissing nobody. You know.
I
hope
love
I
you,
never have to
Aries.
wear a dress.
I love you, man, but I would not have done that myself.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry. But you know, like when I started interviewing like the Michael Jai Whites and the Aries and stuff like that, they started bringing me back into history. So for example, Harry Belafonte wore a dress a part of his career. And you're not going to say anyone was less pro-black, pro-man, you know what I mean, than Harry Belafonte.
Even Dave Chappelle, he saw interview.
And Dave Chappelle, I was going to say, because people were talking, because you know, there's that the Howard Stern skit that came out, right? But then Aries Spears reminded me that in Robin Hood Men in Tights, Dave Chappelle is wearing a dress in one of the scenes.
Yeah, so like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's just comedy. We look funny in dresses. You know what I mean? Now, if you're going to put a little miniskirt, and if you try and really make me like a woman, then I'm like, okay, you're doing too much. But if I get to look this funny looking with her heels on, you know, if it's needed for that role to really make a difference to the role, you know. But like I said, back in the 60s and 50s, our African comedians and the people from the Jamaica, the islands, that did that because that's what looked funny, because we weren't brilliant enough to come up with great jokes like we do now. Yeah. So, you know, you go back to history. So it's okay. Put your fucking dress on, niggas.
Well, Mike Epps, he started roasting Shannon Sharpe over these interviews, started calling him zesty, kind of implied that he was gay in his own way. And Shannon responded, said, you know, I'm going to come see you in person. And then Mike Epps had a very interesting response.
Yeah, he did.
He said, I don't really do much fighting anymore. I do blank. Yeah. And when you're going to come to my city for All-Star Weekend, we might blank and blank, blank, blank.
I know. I was shocked when I saw that.
It was a fairly aggressive. Well, but then again, you're offering to fight this guy. You're physically, you know, listen, Shannon threatened him. Mm-hmm. Let's just, you know, Mike was making jokes. Shannon could have came back with some other jokes. He said, oh, I'm going to come see you with his muscles all out and everything else like this.
Well, Shannon was about to fight Morant's dad, remember, at the Lakers game?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, Shannon's he's a football guy. He probably still have CTEs.
Right.
You haven't contact.
But after Mike Epps made that video, Shannon Sharpe apologized publicly.
He did?
He did.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that.
I think Shannon was actually kind of scared. I kind of get that impression.
Right.
Yeah, because Mike, you know, listen, Mike wasn't always a comedian. And you're talking about his hometown with his crew of knuckleheads around him. I would probably think twice before walking into that situation, knowing that I had to be there in that city, and this is very public and so forth. I probably work things out.
We too off all that, man. Mike got a special coming out. He just trying. Mike creating some buzz for his special, man. Mike can give a fuck about. Mike ain't shooting nobody. Okay.
I'm not saying shooting anybody.
Mike got a special coming out. Mike is funny as hell. Oh my God, man. Y'all want to make sure y'all watch Mike S special coming on Netflix. I think it's February 20th, man.
Oh, you know, hanging out with Mike. Mike is one of the funniest people I've hung out with.
100%. I actually went to his block.
I feel like he's one of the funniest movie comedians.
Definitely. One of the best comedic actors right
exactly.
now. I actually was in Indianapolis not too long ago, about 2 months ago, and he happened to be there. And I went on his, you know, he kind of like refurbished his whole block, man.
Yeah. Made a Netflix series on that, yeah.
Oh, he did? Okay, yeah. I went to the block.
Save the Block or Sell Out the Block or something.
The block is so beautiful, you know. Shout out to Mike. He's a great, you know, we go way back. We had, in fact, was in our first movie together.
Nice.
You know, that's when he became us freaking superstar.
Next Friday, right?
Next Friday,
yeah. Well, right now, Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion are going at it. And I actually looked through the archives, and when Nicki and Remy were beefing, you had a whole breakdown.
I did, damn.
You did.
Yeah, and I think I made some jokes, and I think some of the jokes went against Nicki and her, you know, what's her fans called?
The Barbs.
The Barbs?
The Barbs, like Barbie. Barbs.
Oh, okay. So who are the Beehives? That's Beyonce's fans.
That's Beyonce, yeah.
And who's Rihanna's fan? What do you call it?
The Navy.
Fenties?
Rihanna, the Navy, I think.
Everybody has
Rihanna's
something.
Navy.
Damn, okay. Yeah.
My fans don't really have a name.
Who?
The VladTV fans. We don't.
The Vlad.
Unfortunately, I don't have a cool little nickname for them. Do you have a nickname for your fans?
I had one too. My God, I had one on Twitter. I had a bunch of guys that, you know, when people go in on me, they'll attack them all. Mm-hmm. Damn it, I forgot what they were called, man. Shucks.
Well, I mean, did you hear the Megan Thee Stallion song?
I didn't hear the song.
Did you hear the line, though? She said, these hoes ain't scared of Megan, these hoes scared of Megan's Law. And Megan's Law is the child molester law. And
what's the child molester law?
Well, it's just a law that was, I guess.
Megan's Law. Oh, okay.
Megan's Law, yeah. Cause it's called Megan's Law because there was this little girl named Megan who I guess got molested.
I'm under Megan's Law.
So they called it Megan's Law, and that's the registered sex offender.
I got you.
Law. And as everyone knows, Nicki Minaj's husband is a registered sex offender.
Oh, okay. As
well as her brother is in prison for molesting his stepdaughter.
I don't know much.
Yeah, he got like 100 years.
Yeah. He what? He has 100 years?
Something like that. It's pretty bad.
God.
Or like 40 years or something, you know.
I don't know what all that's all about. I mean, yeah. I think it's sick, you know, anything to do with kids, man, just
totally agree.
Destroys my heart. I'm a
big
big
Did
fan.
you hear, Nicki Minaj had a response called Bigfoot?
No.
Yeah.
What's that about?
It was about Megan Thee Stallion.
What, she said she has Bigfoot?
Yeah.
I worry about my big dick, man. I ain't got time to worry about people's foot. I got my own foot to worry about. Okay?
Well, you said Kanye has the first AI wife.
Oh, yeah. They gonna say Kanye after me, man. Kanye, oh my goodness. No, because I mean, I follow him on IG and I see this lady, it looks like a very sexy robot. You know, she's like moves like that and her outfits is like she's in the club like this, you know. I'm like, is this chick real? Like, why she move like this? She's like yeah, she looks like she's AI.
Yeah, well, someone actually said she looks like Pete Davidson with titties.
Pete Davidson? No, she's.
Look at her face.
Her face is like low on the smaller side. She don't
Look
have
at Pete Davidson's
she
face.
She don't have that weird face that, you know, Katt Williams said whenever you join the Illuminati, they give you a wife with this weird face, you know, that she never does interviews. She don't have that weird face. She's got this little tiny face. She look like a very cute robot. Like she just, you know, she just moves when he moves, and even her car look like it's robotic, you know. She's probably was created in a lab.
Tell me she doesn't look like Pete Davidson in the face.
Hold on, which one is her?
Exactly.
No. I mean, is she the one with the bra?
Right here. No.
Is that Kim Kardashian? Oh, okay.
Right here.
She looks different every time.
That right there. You go tell me she don't look like Pete Davidson in the face.
Wow, okay. Well, she didn't look like that on the last video I seen. She had black hair on the last videos.
Right. I mean, she dyes her hair. But
is it really dye or is it like a robotic wig? It just
it might be a robotic wig.
Yeah, it's robotic.
Right. It might
she's
be
AI.
Might be a loofah.
It
might be the same loofah that a Steve Harvey
is a straightened up loofah. She's definitely AI. She's not.
She's not real.
She's not real, Kanye. You know she's not. Tell her she's not real.
Okay. Now, the whole Taraji P. Henson thing happened since last time, where she did the interview and she cried about how she doesn't get paid as much as she feels she deserves. She feels that her white counterparts get a lot more. For example, when she did Benjamin Button, she got $150,000, and the total budget was about $150 million.
It's terrible. Who was in that movie? Who was the leading lady?
Brad Pitt.
I know Brad Pitt was in that. Okay. Who was the leading female?
Kate Blanchett.
And then she was like number 3 or 4?
She was like, between 3 and 5, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, that's a low blow. I mean, I got paid probably almost that much to do Meet the Blacks 2, which the budget was like $2 million, and I was probably like number 5 on the call sheet. So, you know, she's definitely has every right to be upset about that, being underpaid. And the thing about doing a movie that great, okay, you know, sometimes, okay, I'll take this $150,000 to do this movie that the whole world is going to see. But after that, you guys better show me some respect and give me some money. And they probably still came back with some bullshit after that and bullshit after that. Yeah, she has every right. That kind of budget, you know. And the thing about it, what can she turn it down so to get another person to do the movie? I think they have to just show the respect and pay her what. If you call her for the movie that big, Aries respect her and pay her what she's supposed to get.
Well, I mean, she wanted
$150,000
500, but they said 150 is all we could do. And she ultimately took it, and she won, she got nominated for an Oscar as supporting actress for it. Listen, I caught a lot of flack.
And what happened after that? That's why I'm curious of what happened.
Well, she got a lot more roles, but she feels that she never got. The only time she got 500 was when she starred in that one movie with Tyler Perry.
Right. And I gotta shout out Tyler Perry for that. Tyler Perry he gave her first. I mean, Tyler probably gave Tiffany her first big bucks.
Tyler's giving a lot of people their first big checks.
Bucks. And
shout out to Tyler.
Shout out to him for that. For showing respect, to his fellow black actors and actresses that deserved to get paid it right for their hard work they've put in this industry for all these years. So shout out to Tyler for showing the respect. Love you, Tyler Perry.
Well, I mean, I caught some flack because I made some comments about this.
Okay.
And what I basically said was, I said a few things.
She had a $3 million house, something like that, right?
I'm sorry?
You said she had a $3 million house.
Yeah. So what I basically said, I mean, one of the things I said, which I later apologized for, was that she's worth $12 million and she lives in a $6 million house. And ultimately, the average fan and working person doesn't want to hear multimillionaires complain about money. And I'm in that same boat. You know what I'm saying? Like, a multimillionaire getting 100 instead of 300, when the average person, it takes them 2 years to make that over what someone makes for 2 weeks of work. I feel like it's a little hard to get empathy for this type of situation.
Yeah, but if the money's there.
Well, listen, I apologize for that because I feel like, someone's personal wealth and whatever investments they made to maintain that really has nothing to do with this conversation. It was a bit of a low blow, and I publicly apologize for that. But what my main point was in this whole conversation was that when it comes to entertainment and most businesses in general, you're never going to get what you want. You're never going to feel compensated the way you feel based on the work that you feel that you deserve, which is why at some point you have to transition from just being an employee or a contractor to actually owning and producing your own work. I had to do that early on. My first project, which I killed myself, it was a documentary called Ghost Ride the Whip. I spent 3 or 4 months working on it. I got $25,000 and never saw a residual check. At that moment, I said, this is not going to work for me. I need to create content that I own, that I will put out myself. And when you look at, because people are like, oh, well, look at Reese Witherspoon, she's worth $1 billion. Reese Witherspoon produces her own projects. Oh. A lot of these movies that Reese is in, it's her production company. And what I said was at the point that Taraji is in her 50s, with the connections and the respect that she has in the industry, there's no reason why she should keep complaining that other people are not hiring her. It's time for her to start working on her own projects that she stars in, that she partners with directors and cinematographers and writers.
And she's big enough to do that.
And she's way big enough to do that. There's no reason at this point to be complaining and feeling unappreciated. It's time to actually turn things around and put things into your own hands. And at that point, you can't complain you didn't get paid enough because you're paying yourself. And you're paying yourself off your own profit if it's a great project. That's my point. And I was hoping, that these type of conversations, I know I'm the bad guy for saying this, but I'm hoping that it would reach her and she'll think, okay, you know something? Fuck these movie companies. Or you know something? If Tyler appreciates me, I'm going to just go with Tyler Perry the whole time. Fuck all these other projects. I'll go where I appreciate it. And that was my point. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. I mean, if she's the 4th or 5th person on the call sheet and the budget's $150 million, she deserves a lot more than that. I mean, you talking about paying her 1%?
Yeah.
Not even 2% of the budget. Yeah, that's a low blow. That's disrespectful to Taraji. She's put in a lot of work. She's been in a lot of classics, a lot of great movies. We're talking about Baby Boy. We're talking about, what's the one with that won the Oscars for with Terrence Howard. What's that called?
Oh, yeah. I'm drawing a blank right now.
The Memphis one.
Yeah.
Hustle and Flow.
There we go. Yeah, listen, and what I've always said was I am a super fan of Taraji. She's killed it every time, every movie. I've watched probably 95% of her films. I've never seen a bad Taraji performance, which is why I'm just saying
She's big
it's
enough.
time to start doing your own
produce
shit.
Your own thing. Produce your own thing.
Produce your own shit.
Taraji, whether you know it or not, you're bigger. You know, and people tell me that all the time. Mike, you bigger than what you think you are. Taraji, you're really bigger than who you think you are.
Honestly.
Produce
and there's
your own
so
movie.
many streaming platforms out there that will buy a great project.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, Tubi. it goes on and on.
Well, maybe not Tubi, but you know what we meant, right?
Even Tubi is cutting
Tubi's
deals for big enough projects.
Nah, they
you
give
know what
out
I'm
good
saying?
money.
Don't. Tubi is not just free Tubi. There's also the premium part, and they're trying to get market share as well. So don't downplay anyone who's offering a good check for what it is that you're offering. It's not like before where you had to get into movie theaters or else it's a flop.
Right.
No. Lots of very successful projects that never hit a movie theater.
So
and that was my point. And people are, oh, Vlad's racist and oh, he shouldn't have the right to talk about black women. It's whatever.
Yeah, you was definitely wrong on that. But I'm being glad you understood that she should have got million. She probably should got $1 million. Gosh, I mean, was that her big first white movie?
Her first big white movie? Maybe.
Well, I mean,
I know what you're saying. Yeah, she was doing more black films, John Singleton films and stuff like that. Maybe. I mean, or here's the other option. Fuck the upfront money, just give me 1% of the film.
Yeah.
And you can negotiate those things, especially if you're a Taraji.
Yeah.
You can negotiate.
Yep.
I don't want nothing up front.
Nope.
Instead of giving me 1% of the budget, give me 5% of.
Give me 1% off the back end.
Off the back, yeah. Give me 2% off the back end.
Yeah.
How's that?
Because
here's the thing about business, and people don't want to talk about this, right?
Well, it has to do with your agents as well.
It has to do with the agents,
Yeah,
with everything. But here's the thing about just basic business, right? Let's say you and I are doing an interview here, and I paid you to do this interview.
Right.
If the interview blows up, and let's say he does like the Shannon Sharpe, he does 50 million views, you might feel some type of way. Oh, I only got paid this much, and you made this much, and it's a little bit unfair. But if the interview flops, no one's there to give you your money back. At no point has anyone ever said, hey, Vlad, you paid me this much and it did really badly. Let me give you half my fee back. That's never the conversation. And unfortunately, when it comes to business, these are how the conversations go. Whoever's putting up all the money and taking all the risk and giving someone else a guaranteed amount, that amount will not be ultimately what that person will deserve if it ends up being a big project.
Right.
But a lot of times, for example, she complained about her treatment of The Color Purple. Color Purple is a losing project. It's in the hole. It's in the hole like 40 million right now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And she was saying how
is a musical, I heard, right?
It's a part musical, yeah.
Oh, part, okay.
Boosie walked out of it with his daughter because the lesbian scene.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, musical is not everybody's thing,
Yeah.
So they probably should have went a different route with it. It was a great idea, and everybody was looking forward to it. But I didn't know it was a musical. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll go check it out. Who else part of it? It's Oprah and Taraji and
Let's see. Color Purple. Sierra's in it.
So is it in it? Where is it? Is it in theaters?
Yeah, it's in theaters. Taraji, Danielle Brooks, Coleman Domingo, Corey Hawkins, Gabrielle Wilson, a.k.a. her, Holly Bailey, Louis Gossett Jr., Sierra, John Batiste.
What's the budget of that?
Fantasia.
What's the budget? Would it tell you?
The budget was around 100 million. The box office is currently 66 million. Yeah.
Because, we at least with black people, us, everything's a word of mouth. So you just take one person like, then,
And it's over.
Yeah, it's over. So I'm not sure who said, I mean, you had to miss my big that said,
Well, I mean, she even said how she felt that her complaint, because remember she was complaining about they were giving rental cars and she felt it was unsafe because of insurance reasons and so forth, that she needed a driver. And, she felt like the complaining about the movie, because this is where the complaints originally started, was around panels around this movie. She felt that it took away from the movie itself. She became bigger. Her complaints became bigger than the movie itself. That's what she said.
So what she complain about?
Well, the conversation about her not getting paid enough was during an interview with the rest of the Color Purple cast. Yeah.
So was she talking about the Red Color Purple didn't pay out enough?
Well, she said that on this set, there was a problem with the cars.
Okay.
You know, and the treatment of the actors.
Got you.
You know, she said that, you know, I haven't had a raise since being a Proud Mary in 2018. I still didn't get a raise. But Proud Mary, she was the leading actor in.
Who? I didn't see that.
It ended up losing money. That's the thing also about Taraji that people don't want to talk about. Because, you know, because there was an interesting conversation with me and Michael Jai White about this, who was a working actor who took it into his own hands. Blood and Bone, his movie. Outlaw Johnny Black, his movie, right? And she was like, yo, I don't get paid enough because they say that my celebrity doesn't translate overseas. And what he said, which was interesting, was no dramatic or comedic actors translate overseas. Only action translates overseas. You know what I'm saying? Like, France has its own comedians. They don't care. You're not going to be funny to them with subtitles. Right? They have their own dramatic superstars. You're not, with the subtitles, it's not going to carry across.
No, unless you
But Tom Cruise would carry across. You know what I'm saying? Wesley Snipes, when he was doing Blade, he had no problems.
Rush Hour, Chris Tucker.
That's what I'm saying. Action, but these are action movies.
Got you.
These are action movies. So it's not just black actresses don't translate overseas. White dramatic actresses don't translate overseas. White comedians don't translate overseas.
Action movies, that's
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you probably don't have a huge fan base in non-English speaking countries. I'm sure you have some fans.
Yeah, but not much.
Yeah, like for example, like let's say a Senegal where they speak French. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like your jokes don't carry over the same way because they don't understand you.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is. But it's interesting because when Aries was on here, he was saying how a lot of rapper actors don't really have a range. They're great at being who they are. And he named 50 Cent, Ice Cube, Common, DMX. They're great being them.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you don't see any Daniel Day-Lewis type rapper actors. Do you agree or disagree?
What kind of rapper?
Well, Daniel Day-Lewis, you know who that is?
No, I don't.
He's won a ton of Oscars. He played Abraham Lincoln.
He's an actor or a rapper?
Actor.
Oh,
No.
why are you laughing?
Well, no, what I'm saying is that
range. Okay, yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio has massive range.
Got you. I got you.
Leonardo DiCaprio could play a retarded kid. He could play a gangster. He could play a mountain man.
I understand. I feel
He
you.
could play a businessman. He could play a stockbroker. Like he could become different people. Romeo, exactly. But 50 Cent is kind of 50 Cent all the time.
That's true.
Ice Cube, he has a comedic side, which is kind of cool. But when you see him, you always see Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, correct.
DMX plays a great DMX. But DMX, the college professor, I don't think you would really buy that one.
Right.
You know, DMX, the nerd, no.
Doctor.
The doctor, yeah, Dr. DMX.
Yeah,
What's up, dog?
Nervous. Yeah.
Bend over. Get my stethoscope. I mean, do you agree or disagree?
I mean, it goes back to typecast. It goes back to what I said about Katt. Could be Katt, you know what I mean? I think the only thing I saw Katt do different was that they say he won a Grammy Emmys or something, right? Is that true?
Who?
Katt Williams won an Emmys.
Won an Emmy for Atlanta. Playing himself, playing crazy person.
Okay, see. So, you know, I think a lot of us are just, you know, it's our character. You know, everybody don't have range. Everybody's different in their own way. I mean, some people are just great at what they do. If me being great Michael Blackson will break me millions of dollars still, I don't have a problem with that. You know, I mean, hey, or you could, you know, and those who have ranges too, like Jamie Foxx, range. I mean, Jamie Foxx is a comic that like won the Oscars. He could play every character, you know, and then he ended up falling in love with acting, and then he barely did stand up as much anymore. You know, so, hey, who knows, man? I mean, as long as you're great at what you do, that's fine, you know. We are not going to have range and be able to do, you know. Everybody's different in their own way. You know, I wouldn't say it'll make them more talented. they could just do more different things, and but you still could be talented in your own way for a long time. 50 Cent rapping, I just saw him perform last night. And the crowd still love him. And he's been out there for 20-something years.
Yeah.
To rap that long. I mean, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
But Snoop Dogg, he's not a doctor either. Snoop Dogg is Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I mean, rap is tough. It's, I'm trying to think. The only rapper that I know that had range was Will Smith.
Will Smith. That's the only one.
The only one.
And he has actual range. He could play dramatic characters. He could play doctors. He could play. Did he play Gay Man in some movie?
Oh, 6 Degrees of Separation.
6 Degrees, yeah.
Will
Separation.
Just talented all the way around.
Yeah. He's not slapping people.
Yeah. He a good slapper too.
He's a good slapper. Well, you and Aries Spears have been having a little bit of a back and forth on VladTV.
Oh, we have.
Well, it's not a real beef. It's he kind of said something about you.
Oh yeah,
he made a joke about he roasted you, and then when you were on my show, you roasted him back.
Okay.
So I played the video of you roasting him and got his reaction. You want to see it?
Yeah. Let me see.
Okay, here we go. Well, I had Aries Spears on my show recently, and we were talking about Dubai. I had just gotten back from Dubai, and I was telling him how hot it was. I was saying like the ocean was actually hotter than the air. Like it was like 90 degrees in the ocean. It was like unbelievably hot. And he said if he ever goes to Dubai, he would use Michael Blackson as his umbrella.
And I'm going to use this fat as my blanket, motherfucker. Oh, God, I don't remember that.
Touche. I'm not mad. The fact that he laughed at it and the fact that he said what he said and I'm laughing at it, that's how comedy is supposed to be. It ain't supposed to be on no Tupac Biggie shit, no rival. It's joke for joke, ball busting for ball busting. Hey, Mike, attaboy.
See? That's what comedy should be about,
This
man.
is what comedy should be like.
That's what comedy
It's
should
not
be
Club
about,
Shay Shay,
man.
it's Club Flay Flay. This is how Club Flay Flay,
Man,
that's how they do it.
We're not here
Everyone's
drinking
getting along.
liquor and smoking crack and hit, man. We just here being ourselves, man.
Exactly.
You know
what I mean? I'm not trying to create beef with my various guests, man.
No. It was, that's what comedy should all be about, man. It shouldn't be about tearing each other down. It should be about uplifting and making each other laugh. At the end of the day, man, people just want to laugh. They ain't got time for all that beef shit. It's enough war going on, with Palestine and everywhere else, and Israel and Ukraine. People need to laugh. They don't need more civil war in comedy.
Well, I had TK Kirkland on here, and he talked about a situation a long time ago.
Yeah.
Where
that was your interview?
Yeah. Well, you had mentioned something to the effect of you told Michael Blackson and this other guy how much money you made.
Right.
And they laughed at you.
They laughed. And I took it like a man because my whole life was never have to prove nothing to someone. And on that particular day, I got caught slipping. And I wanted to prove that what I make. And I said, nah, it ain't worth it. Let people think what they want to think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, where basically he said that he was talking to you and I guess your manager. And
well,
he said,
it was my manager. It was
so someone with you.
Yeah, it was I also had an agent from at that time, ICM. He was my agent at that time. Yeah, I remember. Who was at the Chinese Theater? I forgot who was doing a show there. Was it Epps was doing some show there? I think Epps was doing a show at the Chinese Theater, and I remember ran into TK. I had just met my agent there to talk about something. I ran into TK, and TK was talking about some show, and then he was talking about how much he gets paid now, and it was a very high amount, and it was so high it made me laugh, and and I guess he took it as an insult. That's the thing with comedy. At the end of the day, honestly, we know what everybody gets paid.
Yeah.
We know what everybody makes.
How much does Katt make per show right now? If you were to guess.
Right now? I weigh at a minimum $150,000. Minimum. It could be $200,000.
I thought it'd be a little more.
Huh?
I thought it'd be a little more than that.
It probably is. I say at minimum.
Minimum.
It could be up to $250. Easily could be up to $250.
Okay. Because he's obviously the big headliner right now.
He's a big headliner. He's doing arenas. We talking about like, 5 to 10,000 seat theaters. And think about it. Average ticket is what?
$50 maybe? $100?
50 to 100 bucks every ticket. So if 50 to 100 bucks and the place holds 5,000, that's what? 500,000? Now you got to at least get half of that. He got to get half of that.
And he's assembling his own little, crew
plays,
of comedians now that are beefing with each other. So now he's got Kevin Hart's ex-wife on the show. Monique just joined the show. It's kind of interesting how this all comes together.
He's got I think I don't think Tori's. I think she did a few shows and then that was it. I'm not sure she's still on the tour, but I think the Monique and him that's a great combination. Yeah,
they both did Club Shay Shay. I guess she got a big standing ovation when she got on stage.
My thing is like I just want to see comedy win. So if that's what they're doing, both of them together, it's gonna make millions of dollars. Win, get that money.
I've said this before that, people like, wow, like Shannon Sharpe really got the biggest interview on YouTube. It's like 58 million views. But if you do the math, Katt Williams is really the winner of all this, because that one video is what he probably makes in one show in terms of how much money it's made. One show. Katt played chess. He knew that if he made a bunch of noise like this, everyone's going to rush in to go to the show to see how he's going to address all these various things.
And I'm hoping Katt keeps that same energy, because that's what people are coming to see. They're not coming to hear you talk about Joe Biden or whatever he talks about.
Yeah.
You better come up there and come harder, back up, finish up what you was talking about in the interview. That if that interview is what got people there, got people to come and watch you, continue on from there.
Yeah.
And the end of this comedy. You don't got to tear people down for people to laugh. You don't need oohs at your show. You need just laughter. Go make jokes. Make jokes about, us. No career tearing down shit. Go make him laugh. And he's brilliant enough, to do something like that. Go up there and make fun of, obviously making fun of comedians work.
Yeah.
So now go make fun of more comedians, But make it fun. Don't tear people down.
Well, but I think that was the problem with the Katt interview, was that knowing what I know, being in the industry, knowing the majority of the people that he's talked about personally that I've had on my show, watching, I'm like, okay, this is not real. This is not real. This is clearly a total exaggeration. Okay, this might be real. I'm not sure about this one. Okay, but this is ridiculous. This is definitely not real. This is not real.
3,000 books a year, seriously.
3,000 books a year. You can run
400 pages. That's about 1.2 million pages.
I run as fast as Michael Vick, at 40, 50 years old. Michael Vick can't do that anymore. Okay? Listen, like, if you did the same thing.
Did what?
If you and I sat down and you started going comedian after comedian.
Yes.
Like,
we'll get 100 million views.
Dave Chappelle dresses up like a woman. I've seen him, and SOBs, in New York on this date, and he saw me, and he was dressed with a blonde wig, and no one thought that song except for me. And I know for a fact because he was wearing blue Jordans. And you go into detail about this will go crazy. And then Chappelle responds to you?
Yeah.
50 million views.
I saw him with an open-toe Nike. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And just go piece by piece and talk about every comedian who's big out there. Oh, yeah, and Katt Williams. And, you start making up a whole thing about him.
We do that.
It's easy to do, especially if a lot of it's not true. And literally every person he talked about responded. From Kevin Hart to Steve Harvey.
What Steve said? I don't remember.
I think Steve tried to keep it kind of classy.
Everybody kept it classy.
Cedric responded. Ludacris responded. It went on and on. Gary Owen chimed in. He didn't diss him, but he's like, oh yeah, some of that stuff is true. So you got the fan bases of all these big people with huge fan base themselves, and all their fan base are going like, oh, what's he talking about? Let me go check it out.
But one thing I noticed the fans online and the fans in real life, two different people.
Oh yeah, totally different.
Two different. And I didn't realize that.
It's not even similar.
It's not similar. Those people online are the ones that don't go out to a show. They don't
Yeah.
pay to see nothing. They just stay online. They've never seen that. They are just online, just ready to attack whoever is not their favorite. Whoever they agrees with, they're gonna attack the
Right.
other person. That's what I noticed. I'm like, these people, because I go perform. I'm like, damn, you guys are not the same people online.
Well, sometimes they are the same people, but they just act very differently online than they do in person. You would think that everybody hates Vlad, that I'm the most hated person in hip hop media.
Right.
But every time I walk out my house, people are stopping me to take pictures and telling me how much they love my interviews.
Oh, see, yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, I'm telling you, two different people.
Every time. You would think that everywhere I'm going outside, people are throwing tomatoes at me or whatever. No. Every time I walk outside, people come. And if I go to a smaller town like in New Orleans, it's crazy. I can't walk 3 steps without people stopping me and pulling over their cars and whatever else. But you would think that I'm just hated. I'm the most hated person. But that's just not reality.
No.
And some of those same people that probably talk shit about me online, when they see me,
The same one want to take a picture.
they want to take a picture with me.
It happens all the time. I realized that. I'm like, you online or you not online? Because yeah.
Well, plus a lot of the people who are talking shit about you online are doing it behind fake pages. There's a picture of a cat or, a turtle or something. Like, what I'm saying? Like, whereas the thing is, it's hard for people like me and you to relate because when we say something online, it comes directly back to us.
Yeah.
We then have to answer for it.
Right.
We then have an interview. Oh, what was that comment you tweeted about 3 years ago? Like, you got to answer for it.
Right.
Everything I say, I have to think about.
Yeah.
I can't go and call a random celebrity a bitch and think that nothing's going to happen after that.
Right.
There's repercussions of some sort, some big, some small. So, but if I had a burner account, I could say whatever I want to.
Some burner account.
To whatever, but I just feel it's such a waste of time.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of having a fake account to talk shit to a bunch of people who are not going to respond to me? What's the point of that? I just don't get it. It seems like a total waste of time. But
I think overall, he brought attention to comedy.
yeah,
Good or bad is attention. People are Googling up comedians more, and they got eyes on us. And I think we're all going to sell more tickets because of that, because people want to see what you're going to say about this guy.
yeah.
And under that, it's good. But, you could have still done it in a great way without, the insults and the lies, a lot of lies.
Well, I mean,
What lies sells, I guess.
lies sell, man. And if no one's suing him over this shit, then he just made out. He just sold a whole bunch more tickets.
He sold a lot of tickets.
Shannon
Congratulations.
Sharpe got a great look
Yeah,
in the
congrats.
process. And, it's funny how Shannon does kind of what I do, but I get the people who criticize me aren't criticizing Shannon for the same
Well,
thing.
no, they getting him.
They getting at him?
A few times, I mean, Mike went in on him. In fact, that's when, and Shannon responded to me because I said the only winner in this interview was Shannon because he made he made a lot of money from those 50 million views, and I think Shannon.
It's not millions of dollars.
It's not.
Hundreds. I know YouTube.
Okay.
It's hundreds of thousands,
It's 100,000,
but definitely not millions.
Definitely not a million.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so you make at least 100 grand. You said 90-something thousand, maybe.
I would say because the interview's long and you could put in multiple ads.
Okay.
I would say maybe $500,000. $500,000 total.
Okay, see, that's a lot. It's pretty decent.
It's a great amount.
I mean, have you ever made that much on an interview?
On one interview? Well, I've never gotten $50 million on one interview.
50 million views, you mean?
Yeah, sorry. Oh, yeah, I've never gotten 50 million views on one interview, but we do push 50 million views on our channel
Okay.
most months.
Oh, that's dope.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand, but our stuff is cut up a little bit differently.
Got you.
So I could, like I said, I could eyeball it and see, maybe there's some money off the Spotify and you know what I'm saying? So he did pretty well with it, depending on who else owns, has their hands in the ownership of that and stuff like that. But ultimately, Katt was the one who's really going to gain from this.
Well, yeah,
Because he's actually selling tickets.
Yeah, he is.
And putting asses in the seats.
Right. And expensive ticket. I heard tickets was as high as $300 at some place.
Yeah, and if he's selling merch at all at these shows, I don't know if he is or not, but yeah.
I mean, like I said, it was brilliant of him to do what he did. Just have the same energy and go make some more money. Just, you don't have to tear your fellow brothers down. That's all I'm saying. You know, I mean, we all work very hard, you know, to get where we are today, you know. So you don't go saying this guy can't read, this guy here, there's you know, yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, that was kind of foul. I mean, like, Earthquake was in the military. You can't be in the military and not read. In fact, hold on. Now that I think about it, in fact, he was in charge of nuclear missiles at the military. You know about this whole thing?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he had a whole thing where, like, I think he ended up like leaving his post to see like a Luke and 2 Live Crew show, and then something happened where someone dropped one of the nuclear missiles, and like the president got a call, and it was just like a whole big disaster like that.
Would this happen where, like in the Middle East somewhere?
I'm not sure, but he spent a long time in the military before he started doing comedy, because you know he's older, he's an older guy. So yeah, I can't even imagine him not reading.
I think he just had his 60th
Earthquake.
Yeah,
I think he
just had his 60th. His big birthday the other day.
Hold on a second. He's 60 years old on May 29th.
Yeah.
Happy belated birthday, Earthquake.
Yeah,
need to come back and do another VladTV interview. It's been a couple of years.
Shout out to Earthquake, man. I know you could read it. Big guy.
And he's a beast. Like on that stage, Earthquake.
He's in that. Did I put him in the top 10?
No.
Damn it. Yeah. See,
he deserves to be. It's too hard though, with comedians to do a top 10.
Yeah,
you're right, because you start thinking about all these guys, especially like me and you that personally know them, that may not be, you know, like for example, you talk to like an Aries and he'll put Patrice O'Neal in his
top 10,
like top 10 of Mount Olympus, like over, you know, everyone. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's certain guys, they may not be as famous, but on stage, they'll tear up anybody.
Exactly. So many. You know, like the Corey Holcomb, D-Ray got a good show. TK Kirkland.
Yeah, D-Ray tears it up.
You was talking about TK, you forgot your TK story. TK Kirkland saw me, my man, when you was talking about that, you forgot to finish up that story.
Which part of the story?
Like we was making, I was with my agent.
Oh yeah. Well, no, but you basically said, you said that everyone knows how much everyone made. So right. you kind of finished it up.
Okay, yeah. We all know what everybody makes. So when he said the amount of money he made, I laughed because I'm like, it's no way TK makes this money.
So you thought he was making it up?
I mean, but you know, everything's all about hype, man. You gotta, if you want somebody to pay you a certain amount of money, you gotta say it, and it's just up to that person to give it to you. You know, but we know, you know, what people, at least the range of what people makes, what everybody makes. You know, I might not know what Kev is making, you know, but I got an idea on what Kev makes.
How much do you think Kev makes for a show?
I mean, at least $500,000.
$500,000. How much do you think Chappelle makes per show?
Probably around the same as Kev.
About $500,000?
Yeah, because their shows are grossing $1 million. Those shows are grossing $1 million. You know, they're doing 10,000, if not more. Like they're talking about, you know, basketball arenas. That's like 15,000 seats. So them guys not getting $500,000. They got to at least get $500,000 minimum.
Yeah, I mean, Chappelle's show, I mean, he's the king right now.
And I know you mean the same with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan doing those type venues.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I saw Joe together with Dave in was it Phoenix or Vegas? One of them, you know. And in with that, I'm sure they probably both made $500,000 each. You know, we talking about 19,000, 15,000 seater tickets. Average tickets are $100. That's $1.5 million.
Yeah,
no way. You know,
right. Plus, they're making all the money off the food, the concessions.
Well, no, they probably ain't getting much of that.
Well, no, I'm saying, but the venue itself,
the venue is making
the venue itself is making.
So the ticket sales,
ticket
sales are really for the artists. Ticket sales are for us.
Yeah,
you know,
man, it's great, man. I love to see people I know make this type of money,
and that's what I'm saying, man. We are making crazy money. We're making really good money, income money we're making a weekend is what people makes that like a year.
Yeah,
so we have no reason.
More than a year.
More than a year.
More than a year. Most Americans are not making $100,000 a year. They're not.
Right. So we have no reason to tear each other down. We are blessed. You know, I mean, not every comedian is not making that. You know, that we opening the doors for those guys to see the potential. Because at the end of the day, man, people want to laugh. That's why we are winning, because people want to feel good. They come out to see us to get over their problems, you know, help them heal their problems. We are doctors without the degrees.
Man, I used to DJ for $50. You know, I remember I did an interview that I got paid for, and it was like, I got paid 5 times as much as I'd gotten for my biggest DJ gig ever, which was overseas.
Wow.
And this was in America. You know what I mean? I didn't have to travel very far.
Yeah.
And I got 5, and I was a relatively well-known DJ. I got mixtape of the year and everything.
wow.
And as being interviewed myself, not even what I get when I do interviews with other people. I'm saying being interviewed myself, I got 5 times what I've gotten the most of actually flying out to a different country, getting on the turntables, rocking a show, the pressure behind it, the traveling, the this, the that, the hotels, the flights.
That's why I turned down a lot of overseas jobs, because they don't respect entertainers. They don't respect, especially comedians. We're not well respected outside of the United States, where they don't pay us what we deserve.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It'd be the other way around.
I got guys from England, and these guys, like these promoters out there, they don't respect those guys. When they do a comedy show, it's not even about the headliner. It's just about a comedy show. So they'll put like 4 or 5 guys together, and that's that. They're so underpaid. And they call me for work. I'm like, how much? I could make that. I could get an hour flight and make that.
Huh.
Why am I going to get on a plane for 10 hours to go through customs and go through all that headache for your little bit of money? If I want to come to England, I'll just come up there and visit.
Huh. You think it's because the English comedians are getting more money? Or none of the comedians
No,
are
I
getting money?
I don't think no comedians in England making real money. I'm not sure who their biggest guy is. But, as far as, and that's why most of those guys are coming down here. My boy Kojo left England, and he's in LA now trying to, get it done, because they're just underappreciated.
Okay, so for example, who do you think the biggest English comedian is?
Honestly, I don't know who they are.
You know who this is. Ricky Gervais.
Ricky who?
Ricky Gervais.
I think I've heard the name.
You don't know who Ricky Gervais is?
No.
This guy.
I see 6 pictures.
This one here.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that face.
He's hosted the Oscars before.
Oh, yeah.
He was the one, like The Office? That was his show in the UK, and then they redid it with Steve Carell here.
Okay. What, I mean,
he also was, remember that show Extras on HBO?
Oh, yeah, okay, that was him.
He's a pretty big deal. He's got multiple Netflix specials.
Oh, okay.
He is sincerely funny.
Okay. What does he make? What is he worth?
His worth?
Yeah, but I'm saying, all that he got in America.
I think he got a lot of it in America. That's the problem. Hold on, I'll tell you. He's pretty wealthy. But then he's got a lot of TV shit.
He had to come to America. I mean, to really, to be.
He's worth $160 million.
Okay. But look up the biggest black comedian in England or UK, whatever. Who's the most popular urban comedian? And I guarantee you never heard of him.
Biggest black comedian
probably
in the
never
UK?
heard of him, because he's not being paid right.
I mean, wasn't it Trevor Noah's from South Africa, right?
From South Africa, yeah. And he had to come to America to start making some real money. America appreciates good entertainment.
The English black comedians are a bunch of people I've never heard of.
Exactly.
As I'm going through this list, I mean, there's Michael Dappa. That's the
Michael Dappa.
Yeah.
Let me see his face.
Big Shaq. He's the one that did that Man's Too Hot. Remember that one?
Oh yeah. I know Mike. All right, what's Mike worth?
He is. They're saying he's worth $1 million.
Oh shit. That mean he has $50,000. It was nuts.
Once you translate to pounds, it's only like 10 pounds or something. Yeah, I mean, listen.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of, I never really thought about it, but you're right. There's no, Ricky Gervais is the only really major English comedian. And you're right, he's white in terms of the black English comedians.
It's not much.
Yeah, Big Narsty. I've heard of him. I'm not totally familiar.
We come to America, look at how much these guys. Come on. Look what Kevin Hart. Right. Look at Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, there is no Dave Chappelle in the UK. Ricky Gervais is probably the closest thing.
And me coming from a whole other country, man. I mean, I can only discuss like my money, but I'm blessed. So,
but you're American.
What do you mean?
Essentially, but I mean, like you've always base your career in America. It's not like you got big in Africa and came over. No,
Everything started here.
You started in America, so you're an American comedian of African descent.
Got you.
Just like me. Like, yes, I was born in the Ukraine or the USSR.
Oh, you was born in Ukraine?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. It was the USSR at the time, so that's why a lot of times I say I'm Russian. But yeah, even though I wasn't born in America, since I was 5 years old, I was in America, so I consider myself American.
Got you.
I'm not a Russian
I'm
media guy. No, I'm an American media guy that has Russian roots.
Well, I'm not American. I am now.
You are now? But your whole career. You went back after you got known in the U.S., you went back to Africa and start doing shows over there.
Yeah, that's afterwards, right.
They pay you big over there?
Yeah. No, last time I did, I made them pay me big, because if not, I wasn't going to do it. And they wanted me to do it. I hosted an award show, and I made them pay me what I get paid in America. So and a lot of time I turned it down. Like, I've turned on shows in Nigeria because they didn't want to pay me what I wanted. I'll turn on England plenty of time, in Amsterdam. I'm like, you guys, it's cheaper for me to just go there on a weekday and vacation than give you my weekend, which is my money days, to come up there to work for, 25% of what I make here.
Yeah, you have to want to do it. So you have to be like a Bob Marley who just goes out there for the struggle. Like,
these comics, you know what I'm saying? The best way to get money is to turn down money. And it's tough, but these guys in UK, these promoters are doing these shows in these theaters and 3,000 seat theaters and making, whatever, £250,000 and paying these guys $2,000-3,000 each. Don't allow them to do that to you. Turn the show down. Say no. If they have no comedians to do it, then let them pay you guys, man. Make them pay you. They're so underpaid in England.
There you have it. Michael Blackson, man. Always a pleasure. You come in, love the outfit.
Come on,
man. You outdid
yourself
today? You outdid yourself.
I outdid myself.
You outdid yourself. Is that Versace?
The outfit is, this outfit is actually, I think Snoop Dogg.
Is it the Akon Dior?
No, this isn't Akon. This is a real Versace. And I think Snoop Dogg.
Shout out to Akon, that's my man.
Yeah, shout out to Akon. And Snoop Dogg stole my whole Versace-ness in his movie. You saw the movie?
Which movie?
His new movie, the football one. What is it called?
Oh, no, I haven't seen it.
What's the movie called? You don't know? The one he's a coach, a football coach. It's on Amazon.
Hold on.
Yeah, look it up.
Underdogs?
Underdogs.
Yeah.
So he's like an ex-NFL player that got forced into coaching these kids. And when the movie opens up, it's like his bed is Versace. He has on a Versace robe. I'm like, damn, this shit look like my bed. So today I'm inspired by Underdogs. Look at the shoes, man. Can you guys see the shoes? Versace. This is real Versace. Everything. Okay. All my outfits are real. This is made out of skunk fur.
Skunk fur?
Skunk. How many people wear skunk fur?
None.
Nobody. Exactly. I'm out.
Yeah.
Get your life together.
All right, that's how we do it.